Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing all good. Here, I'll just wave. Hello, how are things? Are you doing good? Hope the holidays are treating you well. Welcome to, what am I going to call this one? So the best Necro build of 2024. We're ending 2024 on a new build. We've kind of finalized the old Necro, and it's bringing us into 2025. Maybe I'll say, I'll title this like the new meta Necro for people who do stuff like we do casually for 2020 or something. I'll come up. You'll see it when you're watching this video in here. So I've been really liking my Necro. If you've been in my streams or other things, I've really been liking it a lot, and I've been tweaking it and advancing it and fitting it to my play style. And so people have been asking me, can you make for us a video and with the description below that shows all the stats and stuff of what your final build was. So this is it. Let's start off with the gear. We are running, of course, a 1-bar build. So we're going to be doing Slimecraw with the Magicka and Divines. All right, we're using the heavy because this is the only place where we can put a heavy, and we want to get the bonuses for the heavy armor on there. We're matching that with the Oakensoul ring. So we're doing the multi-effect, which is the spell damage version, because we get the 10 Magicka recovery back. We've got it in Bloodthirsty. The two big sets, the big body set that we're using is Nobility and Decay. And if you see all this beautiful little purple glow that I've got going on here, oh, I love it. I was running Corpse Buster, because you're going to see there's a lot of stuff of explosions in this build. I was running the Corpse Buster. Corpse Buster's got like this weird animation stuff. You don't glow or anything like that. I mean, you get a little stuff on your arms and stuff, but everything around you is having like a strobe party, disco night or something like that, and it's like of flashing lights, and it was triggering me. I'm just like, no. I'd just be sitting in my house with all the other lights on and everything, and the dog would be like glowing like that. All my pictures on the wall would be. It was terrible. I'm like, and I don't know if they know about it, but I don't think it's gonna get fixed anytime soon. So I'm like, you know what? We'll put Corpse Buster away. Let's go with Nobility Decay. I was using this with a PvP build that I was doing, and I really like this set for doing archive and doing a lot of solo work, and even in dungeons and trials, because it's keeping you alive. So you're going to see that this what we have here is not a glass cannon. This is a survivable build with a lot of things in your tool bag to keep you alive, to do a lot of damage. AoE damage, explosion damage, single target damage. It's kind of a jack of all trades, all in one Necro, and it's really easy to pull out, very accessible. I really, really like it. So the Nobility and Decay, if you're unfamiliar with it, you actually have to go in here in IA and collect all the sets. So if you don't know about this in IA, so we're in IA right now, is that once you kill Thoats or the so final Thoat of each arc or the or a Marauder, you will get a piece of gear for your class. And if you look in your set items, go into Infinite Archive here, and I can go into Necromancer. It'll show the sets I've collected. So I've collected everything in there. And if you're like, why is everything in triplicate? It's because you can then you can make a light armor version, a medium, or a heavy. So it's very versatile. All right, and like I said, I was using the Corpse Buster, and it's one of those things that you still could use if you don't mind the little, stuff. It's actually a really nice one. Basically, the idea behind it is that when you consume a corpse with something like a tether or your boneyard in there, and it kills the you get an explosion, that happens in there that goes on to other characters and stuff. So it's really kind of neat, and it was working well, like I said, until it wasn't. It was just getting annoying. So I switched to this one, which is more kind of maybe seen as a PvP setup in here, but I like it, again, because it keeps me alive more. I've got a much larger health pool. All right, you'll see I've got plenty of Magicka too when you see my stats. So I've got additions to health, to healing. One of the great things with the skills with with our Scythe that we're going to be using is that it does damage and it does healing, so this gets affected by that. And then when casting a Bone Tyrant ability, which is our Scythe, while in combat, grants you Beautiful Corpse and Death's Favor for 16 seconds. Well, what is that? Death's Favor increases your healing received and reduces your damage taken by up to 12%. That's a good chunk, all right, based upon your missing health. This can occur every 20 seconds, and it's reduced by 2 seconds for each slotted Bone Tyrant ability, which we have our ultimate is a Bone Tyrant, and also our Scythe is Bone Tyrant. So that's going to go down by 4 seconds in there. So it's going to be, so we're going to have it for a while. So, all right, so that's the philosophy behind this. A little bit tankier, a little bit of stuff like that. We're like, well, what are you doing for damage? Well, for my damage set, I'm using Macabre. Macabre. I learned how to say it that way. I don't know. I took French in school, so I know it's just macabre in there. Stuff like that. So anytime you take another language, you're like, how is the English pronunciation? So, yeah, but I always say macabre. So it feels like I should have some wine and cheese when I say it. So anyway, what's great about this, we get a load of spell damage. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Lots of spell damage in there. And then with this set, when you kill a monster, they burst with blood magic. All right, dealing 50% of their max health to enemies within 6 meters as bleed damage. Now, I had to ask a few people about this. There are a few things out there that do bleed damage, but not dot damage. I thought a bleed damage or a poison damage even was always a dot damage. Not so. It's just a type of damage in here. So this does bleed damage, all right, up to 24k bleed damage. The damage cannot critically strike. This effect can occur every 0.5 seconds, so it can go off all the time. So if you got a whole big group of people, you kill one of them, that splash damage splashes to everybody else, and then if they die, it splashes to everybody else, and it does more and more and more damage. So it really is great against groups. All right, and that's really kind of the big thing, and so it's automatic. So, I have a big group of people, I'll just go right on into there, start swiping away. One goes down, boom, it affects another one, and next thing you know, or especially if it's like around a more veteran monster or something, boom, it takes out the veteran monster. It's a lot of fun, And so I was worried, because we were looking at CP and other stuff, it's like, do I, put points into direct damage? Do I put it into like Thaumaturge for damage over time? Because I was thinking bleed damage. No, it's not that at all. It's actually just a type of damage. And I didn't know that there were specific ones out there. See, you learn things after 10 years. So, all right, so that's the other one. So a lot of fun doing this. So let's give the type. So it's so Slimecraw, I said it's in the heavy and divines. Everything's in actually no, not everything is in divines. All right. For the nobility and decay, I've got this in heavy. Again, give us a little bit more with reinforced. You're going to see why, because like I've got divines. If you've noticed, divines increases your Mundus Stone effects by 9.1%. Well, the Mundus Stone I'm using is the Atronach. And the Atronach just gives you more recovery of, where's it? Yeah, Magicka recovery, which are going to have a bunch anyway, because I just want to keep that pool up so I don't have to run out of resources. I don't really care about like the thief for this one by having more, crit chance or, and get more crit. That's not the whole thing about it. All right, is that I just want to make sure that my Magicka pool is nice and full all the time. So yeah, so that means that I can actually put some other pieces, and I believe I put so this is heavy. I think I did the pants as well. Yes, so I did the legs heavy as well in maximum health enchant, and both them reinforced. So it also gives me more health, and it's increasing my armor value. All right, so again, a little bit tankier. That's what we're looking for in here. The other pieces on there with Nobility and Decay are going to be Magicka and Divines. Magicka and Divines for the boots, Magicka and Divines for the bracers. And then, so that's the 5 piece. And then the Macabre, the only piece on here is the it only comes in medium, and is in Magic Device. Oh, wait, I kind of glossed out too. We need one piece to be in light, and usually I do the shoulders, but because the shoulders Macabre only comes in medium, I had to go with the belt. I could have gone with done it with the bracers or the boots too, in there. But like I said, the great thing about this set coming from IA, boom, is that you could do it in any light, medium, or heavy. So that's really kind of cool. So I'm like, I wanted at least one light piece to get the light armor bonuses at least a little bit, and so that helps me out. Yeah. And then the I talked about the Oakensoul already. The Amulet and Ring are both going to be in the spell damage with the Bloodthirsty. So everything is in Bloodthirsty. Yeah. We don't need it to be in Arcane or anything else like that. We've got plenty, like I said, we've got plenty of recovery and plenty of overall Magicka. Sip of water. There we go. Okay, and then our weapon is going to be a lightning staff. We're going to put the flame damage enchant on there just to help proc another status effect on there, and the we're in precise. So there we go. So that's the gear setup. Alrighty, so we're going a little tankier. Be a little bit more survivability. We can go into later arcs with this. If we're going against a world boss, we can do a little bit more and stuff. We're very well versed at AoE damage, especially. If you got little ads and stuff like that, that's like perfection. So you could just run out a whole bunch of ads and go for it. But like with things like flame damage that does a single target damage, with our heavy attack, we're going to see with our that's empowered with our lightning staff, we are going to do plenty of single target as well. So I would call us a mob specialist, but can hang in there with a boss as well. And if they have, if they conjure up ads, you get excited. You're like, okay, yeah, conjure as many ads as you want. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to explode around you. So, all right. So we got that. Let's look at the skills. Okay, next skill. What am I running? I'm running, all right, the Unnerving Boneyard. That's the first thing that I throw down. If you're unfamiliar with that, you've got this. I always like a targeted AoE. All right, I always like that. So I can have a targeted AoE to begin a fight. So when I'm running into battle, I'm going here. I'm locating the group that I'm going after, and I'm hitting that with an AoE. All right. So what is this giving us? It is giving, oops, wrong one button. What it's giving us is that we are giving frost damage over 10 seconds. So there we get a little bit of a damage over time. For anything there, applies major breach. We really like that. Minor vulnerability. Reducing physical and spell resistance, and increasing damage taken by 5%. That always helps a lot. Consuming a corpse on cast deals 30% more damage. We are going to have I call him Bob over here. We'll talk about Bob in a second. One of my blast bones, one of my skellies going out. If he dies and I see that he's dead, at the foot of an enemy, I can recast this again to do more damage. If an enemy goes down, that I'm doing that around other enemies, I'll recast it again. So I get that extra 30%. So it's really kind of a nice, relaxed way to boost your damage. And then it's also good if you're in a group of people, because then an ally in an area can activate the Grave Robertson, dealing 10k frost damage to nearby enemies, and then healing for that damage done. So I like this with the Necro. One of the big things with the Necro that I'm really liking is the lots of skills that do damage, but also give us some heals back. Speaking of that, we get the Hungry Scythe. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is my favorite skill. Love it. Slice into your enemy's life force, dealing 8,000 roughly magic damage. You heal for that amount of health for the first enemy hit, and additional AT&T for each additional enemy. So again, I got a whole mob of enemies. I swipe through all of them. I do the damage to all of them, and I get all of this health back. So when you're kind of in combat and things are going rough, you might be freaking out. Just scythe. Yeah, it'll really help. Let's see. After dealing damage, you heal for that also every 2 seconds over 10 seconds. So then I also get a healing dot. All right, so the healing disability scales off your max health. We've put stuff into to bumping up our health, so that's going to help us even more with that. So yeah, stacking that health, love it. Next we got is the Blighted Blast Bones. We love this. I call him Bob. I just do. So basically, I send out Bob to go after. So my little rotation of these, because this is really kind of the three things we do, is that I'll put out the Unnerving Boneyard. I'm still running, so I've got time. I'll then conjure up a Bob on one of the targets, and then I'll get there. And as I start swiping over my shoulder, dun 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 dun, Bob comes on in and explodes. I see that his corpse is down there, and then I click on my Unnerving Boneyard. I get 30% more out of that. It's a great little mini rotation kind of thing. So what does Bob do? Bob is a truck. All right, we summon him. He goes out, runs after the target, and when he gets close to them, he deals 17k disease damage to all enemies nearby. So he hits like that's why I say it's a truck. So he doesn't hit like a bullet and stuff going after like one or a laser, like one enemy or something like that. No, he hits like all the group of enemies that are within that range, and applies a status effect of disease and Major Defile on them for 4 seconds, reducing their healing received and damage shield strength by 12%, and then creates a corpse on death. Like I said, best way of describing is that Bob is a truck. Now, we call him Bob a little bit because sometimes he gets a little lost, or he takes him a little bit, or it's actually kind of funny when, like, you kill the object before Bob has a chance to kill him, and then he's, like, turns around, looks for another thing to go after, and goes after that one. And I'm just like, yeah, go Bob! It's a lot of fun. I usually find that in a lot of my builds, that I'm just like, let's just find something that's a lot of fun to do. So there goes Bob. Okay, so that's basically what we're working with as far as damage. Everything else is giving us either a buff or is our kind of, if we're having issues or we get out of jail free card kind of thing, if we're in a little bit of a bind. All right. I use Spirit Guardian. Spirit Guardian is really great because you get this little ghost by your side that heals the lowest health ally around you. So if you're with a group of people, it'll heal your friends. If it's just you, it's going to heal you. All right? But here's also the thing. While active, 10% of your damage you take is transferred to the spirit instead. 10% of your damage. All right? Now you might be saying, wait, on an old build, you had a static 10% less of damage. You are actually correct. All right? The Alliance War support line. But you don't get this until level 7. And if you don't feel like doing PvP, or it takes you a while to get up there, that's a real slog. That's a real grind to get that revealing flare there, which we don't use it for anything other than those last 2 lines where it gives us major protection to reduce our damage by 10%. All right? Or by damage taken by 10%. It's much better for us when we get it much earlier with the Spirit Guardian to do the exact same thing, but it also heals us, all right? And you're going to see with this, which is really nice, is through our passives. Is it this one? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah. When you have Sacred Rose Skeleton or Spirit Mender active, your health, Magicka, and stamina recovery is increased by 200. Boom. So we're going to get an additional 200 recovery to all our stats when this is out. So sometimes I just throw them out there, if I'm noticing that I'm going through my Magicka or going through my stats real quick. I'll just throw them out there to do that, and he'll take some of the brunt of the damage. So it's like preemptive. Sometimes I cast it as I'm running into battle, so that I know that I'm going to have all of my stats are going to be recovering as fast as they can. So a great thing to have there, and so so having the passives influence that is just really great. And then the last one, this is a scribed skill. All right, it's from the Soul Burst category. All right, if you're not sure about this, and the scribing, there's a lot of videos out there and stuff, but it's this one right here, the Soul Burst one. And you get to pick 3 parts of this that you can add to it, if you're unfamiliar with how scribing works. So it's really nice for that. So the 3 things that I picked for it was heals you and your allies. It's a big heal. When that crits, I think I get almost like 17k. You know what? I don't have any other buffs, stuff like that. Let's see what it gives me. If I do this, look at the green on the right. 18. Do you see that? 25. 11. Boom. There's 18 again. Yeah. So yeah, there's 25. Wow, I didn't know they could crit 25. Absolutely fantastic. So it's giving you a huge heal up front, and then I've also taken the one where it heals over 10 seconds. So it's a big heal in doing that, and then it also grants minor resolve for 20 seconds, increasing physical and spell resistance by 29.74. And you're like, wait, there's a whole bunch of other ones. Wouldn't those be great to do it? I already got them. A lot of the other things that you have in your last little choice in there, we get with the ring. I think there's choices for like minor berserk and minor savagery, minor protection, minor heroism. The only one we don't have on there is the minor resolve. So it gives us something that we don't have. So absolutely fantastic. Now, so that's such a great heal. I love it, and I love a dependable heal right in the moment. And I don't want it, even though I'm getting healing like from the scythe and stuff, sometimes I run away. Sometimes I run away, and if I'm running away, I'm not healing myself, you know? Whereas if I'm running away and my health's going down, I got a bleed on me or something, boom, I can just go off the... Boom, there we go. I've got a big heal. I love that. That just makes... That's one of my choices. You could put something else in there if you're comfortable with the scythe and the specter. You know, if you don't need that health, if you don't need that research, that's a flex spot. That's something that you put something else. Or if you do the PvP stuff and you just want to put another 10% damage on there, or a different skill like a tether. I don't like the tethers in there, never have. So I leave that off. But if you want a tether in, on there for damage or for resources or whatever, there's a space for that. So, but I really like that healing. I think this, for me, is the best heal setup in the game. And I put it on all my characters that I need a strong heal. Because I get a strong heal right away. It's not a stamina heal, which I'm the weakest at. It's a Magicka heal, which I'm going to have the most resources to be able to cast. It's reliable. It gives me a dot as well. And then if I pair it with the Spirit Guardian, I'm now getting a 10% reduction of damage coming at me. All right. I am getting a dot heal. And I'm getting resources back as I'm running away. And a healing burst. So, I mean, I can use it when I'm in combat too, so like that. But for some reason, there's a marauder or something that I got to get out of town because he hit me and I was at 1%. Okay, let's throw this on. Spirit Bender, boom, blast. And I've got now, well, he's not healing me because, I'm at full health. But I'd have another ticker going of health stuff. And it's just fantastic. So, there we go. Yeah. And then my last one is my, if everything is really going wrong, or I just want to take out a Marauder a little bit faster, we do the Ravenous Goliath. Right, the big bone Goliath, the ulti in here. It increases my health. It gives me, immediate restoring of all this health in there. My light attacks restore health, fully charged. Restore more health. I deal magic damage to all nearby enemies underneath my feet. And there, it's really great. So, usually the ulti I don't use a whole lot. Mostly because the next thing I'm going to show you with the CP, because we've got a CP that rewards us for not using our ulti very much. So, all right. So there's all the stuff. Make sure as you're going through, you take all the passives that go with it. All the passives throughout everything that we have, because we're using a little bit of everything. In our weapon, of course, use your, we even though we don't have anything in here, because we are holding a staff, all of these do affect, what's going on with our stuff. We're going to have things into light armor, medium, and heavy, so max those all out. Oh, a little thing. If you've got soul magic already, a lot of people don't know this. All right? There's a little second thing down here that if you've got a soul ability slotted, which we do with the healing burst, when your health drops below 20%, your soul explodes, dealing Magicka damage to enemies within 8 meters of you. Can occur once every 2 minutes. It's just nice. I mean, it's a one-time thing, but I'm like, a lot of people don't know it's there. Put a point into that, and maybe it'll be that last little bit of damage you need to survive. So, Fighter's Guild, we're not doing anything other than, and Mage's Guild, just having the stuff for the talking. No Psijic, no Thieves. We do want the Undaunted, because that's why we're going with the 3 different skill setup, 3 different weight classes in there. We get the bonuses to our armor, but we also get the Undaunted Metal, where it increases your max health, stamina, and magicka per armor piece type. Yeah, so we get 6% bonus because we got 2% to each. Now, let's see, alliance stuff like that. We don't need that now. All the racials, and then whatever you want to do for your crafting. The biggest one is provisions, just so that we can have, our duration to any food or to our drinks and stuff. Speaking of drinks and stuff, wait. Oh man, that was gonna be a great segue, but I didn't do all of the. I didn't do the CP. I was talking about doing the CP. Okay, hold the thought about the drinks. We'll just say it. We'll just say it at the end of this bit. Okay. So, green, you can pick whatever you want. All right. For the blue, for das blue, Wrathful Strikes, Occult Overload. Look at this thing. I love this. My friend Cal got me into this. Because he's running a similar Necro, except he's doing it on the stamina side. And using some tethers and some other stuff. The Occult Overload. Whenever you kill an enemy under the effect of a status effect, which we do have a lot of status effects that we put on, they violently explode for 1037 Oblivion damage per stage. So that goes out to, what's my bonus? 5K. Yeah. To all other enemies within a 4-meter radius, and applying a random status effect to each enemy hit. The effect can occur once every second. So we're getting more explosion stuff. All right. So if you've got like the Corpse Buster, you got 3 different kinds of explosions. One that you're setting off, the Occult Overload, and the one from Macabre. So you can have to that if you went with Corpse instead of the Nobility and Decay. So, so we've got that going. I love that. I did have before, I was using Focus Mending to get my heals up and stuff, but we got plenty of healing. We're good with that. Biting Aura is kind of the best one for us because it's doing damage with the area effect. We don't really need to have that Thaumaturge. We do have some dots, but that 6% that we would get with that isn't going to really affect and do too much of a difference. Better to have the Biting Aura because all of our stuff does area effect damage. And then my last one, I chose Master of Arms because all of our damage is direct damage. Except for that, like I said, a little bit of dots that we have with the Boneyard. So, then for our red, we're going pretty basic. Boundless Vitality, Fortified. I like the Siphoning spells. You could go with like the Rejuvenation if you wanted, but I like it that you're killing so much that boom, 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 I can get some quick Magicka back in that. And then here's the reason that I was talking about with the ultimate in there. We gain a whole bunch of recovery, 30 health recovery for every 10 ultimate that we have. So if you've got 500 ultimate and you've got 30 in there, so you're getting an extra 1,500. Is that my math? Did I actually do? Wait, I did math. How much caffeine I've had? We figured out in my chat that I can do math after a certain amount of caffeine. Yeah, I did have a good cup of coffee this morning. So, all right. So we do that, and of course any passives throughout all the trees. And so when we've turned Da-da-da-da, transition! All right, look at the... Wait. Oh, it's not all the way up! I can't show you the whole thing! Hold on, let's go to the house. Oh, no, we gotta go to the house. Oh, my goodness. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, because I want to show you, like, the final number that we get in there. I believe it's over 2,000. It's over 2,000? Or 1,700. I'm forgetting now. This is why we have to go to the house. You're like, why does the house make such a difference? Because I have one of those ethereal wells there that can top off my ultimate. Can you see my ultimate is at 148, so it's not giving my full thing. Oh, you can see the purple better in the house, too. Look at that purple glow. This is why I call it the Purple Haze build. Purple Haze. All right. Ooh, even better at nighttime. Love it. Yeah, so let's click on this. Boom. There we go. Now we look at ourselves. Oh, yeah, way over. We're at 2412 health recovery. How do you like them apples? Isn't that amazing? Magicka recovery is at 1291. Stamina recovery, as I said, we don't do much with stamina. In there, even though Bob uses stamina, it works out because there's enough time between each casting of Bob. So, and now look at my stats. We've got everything in the 64 in the Magicka. Look at my Magicka. 29. Look at my health. 33. Remember I told you all the stuff that's based off of our health, having more health? Look at that. 33. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Fantastic. And then there's our stamina. Yeah. Spell damage comes out at 45, 47. We got a lot of stuff that don't really depend on crit. So the 35%, more than enough for us in whatever we're doing. I am using my tripods, our free tripods that we get in there. And for my stuff, this is something that I came into recently. And it's actually not that hard to make. It's not that expensive to buy, even in there, which is so funny. But look at what it gives us. It gives us some Purified Bloody Mara, increase our Magicka by 4620, and max health by 5k. And we're not a vampire, so we don't have to worry about any of that other stuff. Yeah. And I'm still having that much recovery. Because I was having so much recovery, I got rid of the clockwork food there, or the witch mothers. I got rid of it. I'm like, I've got plenty of recoverability in there. Plus, we do want to use our staff from time to time. All right? And a heavy attack gives us back resources. So our resource stuff is not a thing with this build, which is fantastic because it is with so many other builds. So yeah, so we don't have to worry about that. So, all right. So you get to the point where I'm like, okay, did I cover everything? Well, I was saying, wow, this could be a 10-minute video. It's going to be so short today. Look at that. I think I'm over 33 minutes at the time I'm talking right now. Just crazy. So, yeah. I think that covers everything. We talked about, race, whatever race you want. You know me, I love my Khajiit. All right, we can do that. That's fun. Oh, there's the bandstand. They're practicing for the holiday concert coming up. So we've got them outside. We talked about all the gear stuff. We talked about why we chose the gear. We talked about our skills. We talked about our CP, we talked about our foods and our drinks, all that stuff. I think we've got it. So yeah, I mean, I consider this is my main now. And I really like it. The ease of ability when I'm doing stuff is absolutely fantastic. It works in all situations. Oh, and I'm going to add to this, it works in all situations plus PvP. Plus PvP. You only need one build now. One build to rule them all. Ooh, maybe I'll do like a Lord of the Rings reference. I don't know. I gotta find my title. Because we have the reinforced, added in there. We've got plenty of, and we're at 33 for our health, 33k. We're pretty stout enough that we can survive in this in PvP. I've actually taken it into PvP, and I didn't die, which was weird. I took it into the new battlegrounds, and I didn't die. My team did real well. It was one of those situations, if you've done any of the battlegrounds, where you're either on the wrong side or the right side, and it's really, top heavy. You either you die like throughout the whole thing and get like no points, or you win flat out by by a lot. So I was in that team by a lot, and I could survive. Yeah, I tried to put myself into a little bit more harm's way, and I was good. So absolutely wonderful. So yeah, so you can do PvE, you can do soloing, you can do IA, you can do dungeons, you can do trials, you can do all of this stuff. You can do the PvP stuff with it. So it really is an all-one jack of all trades. And it is my new build going into 2025. So I'm really excited with this. I've been searching for something. I love my Frostagon, but it wasn't doing the things that I wanted it to do with the ease that I wanted to do it in there for me. I do love the builds and the stuff that we've come up with that, but I was looking for a little bit something different, and I really gravitated towards that new set. Nobility and Decay. I'm just like, wow, this really helps me out. My just staying alive more. And like we always say, dead DPS is no DPS. So if I stay alive, I'm contributing in a meaningful way to every bit of content that I do. So. All right, everybody, enough of me gabbing. Hope you have a wonderful holidays and stuff. I'm recording this a little bit before Christmas. And so have a wonderful holiday season. You all take care, be safe, and thank you for all the wonderful support throughout the years and having the YouTube channel grow and coming to see me on Twitch and everything. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. So thank you very, very much for everything. And I will see you in the next video. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.